Hey everybody, it's Carl Schultz here, and today we're going to be going over the best WordPress hosting. I'm super happy to be going over this with you. I think I have a pretty good idea of what works for me in terms of getting a WordPress website up and going. But it's not only that. With Cloudways, you're able to use different kinds of servers, and you'll be able to get your software or application up and running, and there's just a lot of options to choose from. Quick disclaimer, I am an affiliate with Cloudways. I genuinely love Cloudways. They have an amazing affiliate program, and I'm grateful that they approved my application and that I can refer awesome products to you. I've been using Cloudways for a long time, and I really believe in their customer support, and I really think this will get you rocking and rolling if you're going to get started with a WordPress website or you're trying to scale. This is somewhat of the future in terms of using servers like Amazon's web hosting and stuff like that. So you're going to be in good hands with Cloudways. Here we are inside of the dashboard inside of Cloudways, and you can see here that I have a server and it has 80 gigabytes of storage space, and I believe it's 40 gigabytes of RAM. This is where you're able to scale, and this is what I mean by manage hosting, is you're able to move this up and it'll tell you the pricing based on such. And so this is a great way to analyze what your requirements are as far as growing. Here we are inside of the dashboard. The first thing we do is we sign up. We go to Cloudways website, click on the button that says get started for free, fill in your email address, password, and other information that they ask so that you can create your account. The step 2 is you're going to choose that cloud provider. Cloudways works with different companies that provide cloud hosting, so you can choose ones like Amazon, Google, or DigitalOcean. Think about which one you want to use based on things like how much it costs and how fast it is. Step 3 is you set up your server. After choosing a cloud provider, you'll need to tell Cloudways what kind of server you want. Servers are like computers that store your website or application. You pick the size, location, and other settings that fit your needs. Step 4 is you launch your server. Once you set up your server, click on the button that says Launch Now. Cloudways will do the work to set up your surveys or your server so you don't have to worry about it. Then you add step 5, you add your website or app. After your server is ready, you can add your website or application to Cloudways. They have different options like WordPress, Magento, or Laravel. Just give them some information about your website, like its name, domain, and how to connect it to a database. Step 6, install and customize. Cloudways will install your website or app on the server for you. Once it's installed, you can go to the admin panel using the information they give you. From there, you can set it all up the way you want and make any changes that you need. Step 7, connect your domain. If you have a domain like yourwebsite.com, you need to connect it to your Cloudways hosted website. So you can either change some of the settings on your domain's website to make it point to your Cloudways server, or Cloudways' own domain management feature to manage your domain with Cloudways. I'm not sure if they have a domain register, so that might be a tad bit. So step 8, make sure your website or make your website better. Cloudways has some cool features that can make your website faster and more secure. You can turn on things like caching, which helps your website load quickly. You can get an SSL certificates to protect it. I highly recommend that you do that, and they'll help you through that process as well. Step 9 is watch and change. Use the Cloudways website to keep an eye on how your server and website are doing. If you need more resources, or if lots of people are visiting your website, you can make your server bigger. And if you have any problems or questions, Cloudways has people that you can talk to for help. In order to get your WordPress website up and running, there are a few steps, but it's really easy. So the first thing you do is you create the server. After selecting the cloud provider, you create a server on Cloudways. You specify the server size, location, and other settings based on your requirements. Cloudways simplifies this process with pre-configured server settings to optimize for WordPress, and they'll do most of the updates for you. Then you install WordPress. So once your server is set up, you go to the Applications tab in your Cloudways dashboard, click on the Install New Application, and select WordPress from the list of applications. Fill in the necessary details like name of your website, admin username and password. Choose the desired WordPress version and other options, and then click on Install. To access your WordPress website, after the installation is complete, you can receive the login credentials for your WordPress admin panel. You can access it by navigating to your server's IP address or your domain, followed by the /WP admin. So if your name is like, I don't know, henry.com, it would be henry.com /WP dash admin. And that's normally pretty standard for all of the different hosting companies to get into your panel. And then you use the provider username and password to log in. And then customizing your WordPress website. Once you're logged into the WordPress admin panel, you can start customizing your website. You can choose the theme, install plugins for added functionality, create pages, write blog posts, and configure the settings to meet your specific needs. You can also import content if you're migrating to an existing WordPress site. And that's really important, especially if you did a backup prior and you want to get started again. You just upload that way. Configuring the domain. If you have a domain, you need to connect it to your Cloudways hosted WordPress website. This is an important step. Cloudways provides DNS management features that allow you to add and configure your domain. You'll need to update your domain's DNS settings to point to your Cloudways server. Alternatively, you can use Cloudways' own domain management feature, but I don't think that Cloudways does domains. And then manage and scale. Cloudways provides a user-friendly dashboard to manage your WordPress site and server. From your Cloudways account, you can monitor website performance, scale server resources if needed, enable caching, set up backups, and access other management tools. So that's sort of a general overview of what it takes. The biggest thing is once you get in and you're able to see your panel for WordPress, then you're pretty much set to go. If you have any questions, reach out to Cloudways. They're really good at either setting up that site lock, that little, would you call that a key, lock and key, so that your site is secure. So they're really good at setting up the SSL certification. That's kind of the big thing, making sure everything is pointed correctly. And it doesn't take very long. Sometimes it may take like an hour for you to start seeing it show up. But if it doesn't show up within like, I don't know, 3 hours, just reach out to Cloudways and they'll get you started. Likely it's that it's not being forwarded quite yet, that domain from whatever, if you use GoDaddy domains, it's likely that it's not being pointed over just yet. And so you'll want to reach out to them and make sure that everything got pointed correctly and that you have the correct credentials. But more often than not, you just need to go into that panel, log in, and you'll be right inside of your WordPress platform. And so that's how you do it. That's how you do it when you're going to the .wordpress.org pathway. I highly recommend this way because if you're using other sites like such as Wix, you're on their hosting and you're under their terms and conditions. And so when you go to WordPress.org, which is what we're talking about by connecting a self-hosted management company such as Cloudways, you have way more control, and you also have access to plugins, which aren't typically available on the WordPress.com version. So there's a difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Cloudways, again, I'm an affiliate. It's an excellent platform for those getting started who are serious about WordPress. You can see their pricing on their homepage. Again, these might not reflect the actual configuration that you do with your server. It could be a little bit more or less. But you can start with some of their lower plans and you can scale from there. That's what I would do. There's a lot of tutorials about how to get started, but for the most part, what you're doing is you're just signing up and you're going through their process and they're going to direct you exactly how to start it up. And there's a plethora of tutorials all over the internet on how to get everything pointed and stuff like that. So this is more of a holistic view, an overview. I think you're really going to enjoy them. And there's also a ton of resources. If you go to WordPress.org, there's tons of videos on the internet about how to do things specifically. I'm just here to tell you that Cloudways it was a great option for me. It still is a very good option. They're super affordable and you can scale. And they have all the security measures in place. And not only that, you can get connected to WordPress, which is one of the most popular platforms for managing your site and getting going. So I appreciate you listening to this tutorial, and I encourage you to click the links to sign up. I appreciate it a lot because it helps me. It goes a long way, especially with doing these videos. And I wish you the best success. I know you can do it. The biggest thing is sticking in there, sticking with it, and don't give up. Sometimes it takes 6 months. A lot of people like to think of things as ranking on Google, but I don't think it's just that. You want to have your own profile, your own presence, and you can still grow and do content marketing without Google. without getting into ranking and stuff. So don't necessarily fall for that. Think you have to rank. It's not all about that. It's about relationships, and having your own website is a perfect way to do that. I think everybody should. And so stay tuned for more information. Again, link in the description. Have a good day.